Right, welcome back to Una's Shed. The soldering iron's turned up with all the other bits and pieces. It's a butane one, so I've had to go and get some gas, but that's all refilled in now. So, project part 5 of clock bracket stroke clock installation, I think it has to go to. Tidy those cables up and get them in now. I'm not very good with a soldering iron. I haven't used one since I was at school. So what I'm going to do is I've got some advice on it. So I've got some cable. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is just, because I've got to join wires together and make it look nice, so I'm just going to practice on a couple of lengths of wire first, just to make sure I do it. Because I don't want to do it on that and cock it up. Oh, by the way, I will be removing the lead from the battery because I will be working with a live a live feed. I don't know if that makes any difference, but I'm going to disconnect the battery anyway. So stick around, stay tuned, and we'll see how badly wrong this one can go. Right, so one gas powered soldering iron, cutters, bit of cable, standing knife, more cutters, lighter, that's some more solder there, heat shrink, solder, wet sponge. Right, so just one bit of cable. I'll strip the ends off those to about there, and then again this end. Maybe a bit more, I think. So that. Now, fan them apart. I got this one off of YouTube. It's amazing what you can find on YouTube. Okay, and you just sort of insert them together and then twist that end. Alright. And twist the other end like that, and then you end up with that. If the camera will focus, you end up with that. And then you solder in there. Obviously putting your heat shrink on first, but I'm not wasting the heat shrink on this. So this looks a lot easier in the YouTube videos that I was watching. It was almost instant in those. There we go. Just a matter of practice, I think. There we go. I'll turn that off. Quite a fierce little thing that is. Right. And then you get that. And that is that's together pretty good. So I think that's how I'm going to be joining the cables when this goes in focus. Not sure how close I can get this. No, the camera's not that good. So yeah, so just fill it. That's pretty strong, that isn't going nowhere. The other one I'm going to need to do is to cut into a length of cable, because I've got a positive, like a live feed, and a negative feed, and I will need to splice into those, so I will need to join the third cable in through here. So that's the next one. So what I've done here is I've cut a bit of the sheathing off, and I've got my cable to go through. Actually that's a little bit short, make that a little bit longer. So what you do with this bit, apparently, is you push something through to separate the cables, ideally a ballpoint pen, which I don't have. I do have a screwdriver though. So you push this through like that, so you make a hole through the cable like that, and you push that through. Do it this way because I'm right-handed. Just push that through there and then twist like that. And then because this is that, you can't put heat shrink on it, because you've got no way of getting it into this because this is a loop. And just the famous old black tape. Solder it in the same way as you do that one, and then do the same on that side, and then wrap it around with a bit of black tape. So for the live, that way. Now I have people say you just hook it over, and that's a recommendation that I've got, but to be fair, what hooking it over means. Hook it through, twist it a couple of times, that seems fine. So we'll try that. Right, I think the first ones to do first, I've unplugged the ignition, are going to be the two splices into the loom. This one for the, on the other video you'll notice, I think it's on the brown one, that's the light switch. Unfortunately I'd wired into it, so the clocks only worked if you switched the lights on. If you switched them off, they went off. But it's, again, it's these stupid connectors. I had it into this one. This was the first one I spliced into. But these things are so naff, they didn't make a proper connection. So I thought that hasn't made a connection, so I tried the other one. But that is the right one. So I need to take these off. These stupid connectors off. I have disconnected the battery, so we should be good on that. So I'll take that one off there, and then we'll take this one. Right, so now these two are off, you can see the mess that those clips make. See if I can focus that in a bit better. There we go. See the mess those clips make. So I'm just going to extend that gap and then wire that positive one into there, and then that brown one into there, like that. Right, so I soldered those two in, one there and the other one there. So what I'm going to do before I do anything else is plug the battery back in and check that the clocks still work. Right, so they will still work. It's just, I love that, that's just so cool. Although the clock has been reset because I disconnected the battery, so I've just got to go through and set it up again. That's nothing major. Lovely. So now that I know the clocks work, it's time to hook it all back up again. I said I'm using this connector block so that I can unplug it, so I can just attach those cables to these. Then I can keep that for the time being. Right. I don't know how well this is going to focus, but there we go. So that's two of the cables connected, and just slide the heat shrink over there, like that. I'm going to get it about the middle. Like that. And then just with a lighter. Now this is going to be a pain in the backside to video this with with all these cables and the lighter. So I'm going to do that and then come back and show you what it's like when it's done. Right, this camera isn't too good at focusing, but there we go. Two cables joined together. That one next, and then on with the these terrible bloody connectors. Right, so that's, yeah, I put a pair of jeans down. You don't want solder. Get rid of that, that's just holding everything up, because you need 3 pairs of hands. That's because I don't want any solder dripping through onto my tyre. So there we go, all joined, and the clocks still work, indicators left and right, see high beam. And that's what apparently changes the light as well, so there you go, back on the blue. I wonder if we can stop that. But there we go, they still work. So turn that off. Now, to get that lot tidied up into there, and then the headlight unit back on. Right, one headlight back on. One set of keys in the ignition. Reconnect everything else. And and take it out there. Woohoo! Time for a spin. Right, so, well, they work, but they don't work very well. I thought when I was revving it that this doesn't seem to climb high enough, and the speedo was only reading, well, when I say it was only reading, that short burst that I did, apparently according to my speedo I was doing 223 miles an hour, which is not bad for a 750cc. Now I'm fairly certain it didn't go above 25, maybe 30 mile an hour, so that's misreporting somewhere, so now I need to find out why. Right, so the clocks are installed, they work, everything lights up, but I'm not 100% sure that the rev needle actually matches the rev count. I think it's a little bit out, and the speedo is definitely out. In this little road up around here, just a little quick run around the block, I managed to achieve a speed of 223 miles an hour, according to that clock, that's just not possible. So I've got to find out what's causing that. It's possible that I've got the wrong digital converter, which I shouldn't have, because I know I can get these things wrong. So I specifically asked the chap in the store, make sure you send me the right one. If I've ordered the wrong one, just change the order. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but there is a setting you can change it from a 4-cylinder 2-piston to a 4-cylinder 4-piston. It's based on the amount of coils that you've got. So I've changed that to a 4-stroke 2-cylinder because I've got 2 coils, but it's still reading, 223 mile an hour when I know that bike won't do that. So let alone do it in a small street. So that's the end of this episode for the moment. I've still got to figure out why it's doing that. So I'm going to go away, I'm going to have a look at it, and then I'm going to come back and then I'm going to fix it. But apart from that, apart from the clock's not actually reporting it correctly, that's fine. Everything's on and the bracket works and everything else. So next stage is finding out why they're misreporting. So there we go. Anyway, hope to see you on the next one. Ride safe, and I'll see you on the next Who Knows Shed.